The audience schedule of the President of Faso Head of State, Captain Ibrahim Traore, included a meeting this morning with the ECOWAS mediator to the AES. Ansanat Kouyaté went to meet with the President of Faso, who is also the President of the AES Confederation, to discuss collaboration between sub-regional organizations. The aim was to revive dialogue to address two main challenges, security and the free movement of people. A report on the meeting with Frederic Etienne Basenga.
This is a very important meeting for the future of West Africa. The President of Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traore, is meeting with the ECOWAS mediator, Lassana Kouyaté. On the agenda for the discussions, the security and stability of West Africa. Despite political tensions, the tone remains constructive. Lassana Kouyaté advocates for exemplary cooperation between ECOWAS and the Confederation of Sahel States.
Today, I am incredibly happy to be here with the President of Burkina Faso. We have just discussed a highly complex and multifaceted subject which concerns the long-term security and the regional stability of both of our countries. And everything went quite well indeed. There was, as you already know, the formal formation and the strategic creation of the Alliance of Sahel States, also known as the AES, which eventually led to the definitive break with ECOWAS. It is worth noting that I served as the executive secretary of this very same ECOWAS many years ago. And ECOWAS wanted me to come because it has already been decided, and on that there's no going back. But how can we now maintain cooperation between the two entities? A cooperation that is necessary due to geographical circumstances. After all, geography unites these two entities, the AES and ECOWAS. After all, people must continue to move back and forth. After all, there are a lot of after-alls.
The mediator leaves the Koulouba Palace with, as he says, clear instructions from the President of Faso. The mission continues with a top priority, to avoid a breakdown and to protect the daily lives of people throughout West Africa.
Today we had a delegation from ECOWAS visiting Burkina Faso to have a bilateral talk with the Alliance of Sahel States, Burkina Faso being the confederal head of the Alliance of Sahel States. So the ECOWAS delegation came to discuss trade, cross-border relationship. They said West African, geopolitical space needs a situation where civilians will be able to move from one region to another. And that's not the only thing they said. They said they want, inter-border security. They want, trans-border security and joint security efforts. They talked exclusively. According to information, it was a hours-long meeting between the delegation from ECOWAS and the Alliance of Sahel States delegation, spearheaded by Captain Ibrahim Traore. Ladies and gentlemen, RTB correspondent has this report.
Today I am happy to be here with the President of Faso. We discussed a rather complex subject which concerns the security and stability of our countries. And everything went well. As you know, there was the training, the creation of the Alliance of Sahel States, the AES, which led to the break with ECOWAS. I was the executive secretary of this ECOWAS years ago, and ECOWAS wanted me to come because it is already decided and there is no going back on that. But now the question is how to maintain cooperation between the two entities. A necessary cooperation through geographical discussions. After all, geography unites these two entities, the AES and ECOWAS. After all, people must continue to move back and forth. After all, there are a lot of after-alls. So, the President has given instructions, and it's not for me to tell you what they are, but these are well-considered instructions, and I believe we will benefit greatly from them.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's my take. I don't know in particular what lecture Burkina Faso wants to give to ECOWAS. I don't know what lecture ECOWAS wants to give to the AES. Now let's clarify something. Look, I have listened, I have heard, I have seen dialogues, I have seen a lot of things. It means that there is a conflict in ideology here. I have listened to some of the Nigerian political representative, who continues to mock the Alliance of Sahel with every chance they have. We are aware of what the Nigerian, government personnel said about this current attack in Mali. It was absolutely despicable and diabolic from a human standpoint. It's as if, some black people were cursed to hate on some black people. You see, the whole Nigerian symbol and all of that is over with. Nigeria is not a regional hegemon. Nigeria is not the giant of Africa. Every Nigerian watching me knows that Nigeria is currently the epicenter of terrorism, banditry, and anything you want to talk about. You cannot travel by road, like let's say 3 hours by Nigeria, from a state to another state without begging God for your, maybe your last supper or something. This is just the reality. I'm giving it to you. So they are now look, these are children. We have adults in the AES that knows the reality on the ground, and they are doing everything they can to address the current reality. But in Nigeria, the reverse is the case. You have people whose people are being kidnapped with 2 years old and all of that, with very, very devastating geopolitical situation, and you have the same people talking about 2027 election, and the country is in a whole quagmire and chaos. Well, I don't think, and I stand on my word, that there is no lecture. I don't think there's any lecture that the Alliance of Sahel wants to give to ECOWAS. Not because ECOWAS cannot listen. Not because it would not be reasonable for these two, geopolitical zones. Now we have the Sahel and we have ECOWAS, right? Not because these two parties cannot dialogue, not because they cannot exchange ideas, not because they cannot support themselves. But the biggest problem here is that there is a side that choose corruption over the other side. In ECOWAS, you have people that wake up in the morning and pray and worship the spirit of corruption. So you cannot change ECOWAS. Look at Nigeria, for example. That is everything about ECOWAS, ladies and gentlemen. I know Ghana and Togo, they might have a different, a little bit of different mix, but man, it doesn't get better than Nigeria in ECOWAS. And as long as Nigeria is one of the greatest flag bearer of ECOWAS, I don't think this organization can do anything reasonable for the people of Africa, or can ever be pan-African in any, way or form. I think the way, the truth, and the life of West Africa lies with the AES. You have young men that are honest, and even the war that has been waged upon them is an external aggression. They continue to even develop in the midst of the conflict. Well, you can kindly give us your opinion on what you think. This delegation they sent to me, I believe this is a very, very incredible delegation. They were very humble, they were methodic, they were educated in their approach, they listened, they gave their own submission. Man, but the submission, the unanimous decision lies in the general consultation of the Alliance of Sahel States leadership. They will decide what is good for their people going forward. That said, we want the unity of African people. But let's be honest with ourselves. We talk about unity. Some of us want unity with, progressive ideology. Some people don't want it. So what do you want to do when some people want unity and progression, and some people want disunity and regression? There's nothing we can do. You cannot force people to unite with an ideology they don't believe in. Some people believe in corruption. They live and die by corruption. So there's nothing we can do about it. We just need to move with what we have. This is the new reality I'm sharing with the people now. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the false information we have for today. I don't know if any of you can remember Ahmad Cisse, the JNIM terrorist agent that was captured, knocked out clean by the joint maneuver of the Russian African Corps and the Malian Armed Forces. Ahmad Cisse has some things to say. He has been a little bit rehabilitated based on their parameters, but what I see, I think they've chopped off his hair. Ahmad Cisse look a little bit reasonable right now. I want you to look at what he said, but I want you to pay attention to one thing he said. Is in a translation. He said that they were trained by a white person. That was what he said. He said, but that individual is not a Malian. But Malian clerics, they were the one in charge of the spiritual training, the ideologic training. The kinetic training was being done by external special forces personnel that we've been talking about forever. But Malian Islamic clerics of the likes of Imam Diko, they were in charge of the ideologic training, and the special forces from God knows where, who are setting interest in Mali, they were in charge of the kinetic training. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen to the revelation of Ahmad Cisse.
San ega dojenim na ega bara kunjui.
Michigan.
Igme Michigan fany fe.
Me ya Michigan kurma. Ka bo kurma kana bam ko kurma fe yoro dobe abi fo foare ne kumbiye nessa. Ne bora yen kana se. Ne bora yoro se sako. Yoro to ko foare. Ya Michigan ya wana kana.
Kunjuma la sai do jenim.
Zinu go na ndama do ulula. Ugune fani bafaga katila fana ka ne fana faga. O ya ne jaako ya ka ne do ulula.
Voilà, c'est ça. Maintenant, avant de mourir, na la c'est le même fou.
Na ya la sedia. Anya mo togo Umar. Na ya la an la sedia dama aban fana nyonga. Ka wajul ke ko jakamina kani ani ni mai ni fenjuye. Abi toka wajul ke kuna dama hasaba fa balum.
Voilà, maintenant c'est ça. Et de que c'est là ni ani agata la yoro jme.
Oui, ande la ande fore. Anga kuntigi be mogo fana do be jamande do kamalian kunte. Mogo jamu uludi an la de matachila ani peron kaketa uludi an la de.
Si ça kuma kan jume mi bolo ala se jenim mogo.
Kuma kan mo min bolo ka yesin zinu mogo ma. Zinu mogo out na sebya soro ni kelenka ukana anga faranya bonka ke mo kele anga ekol so gila ka doctor so gila ka siraw gila anga beke kele iba fa kumbi no gon fana oda kada yi an be ka kele parce que an be ma dewi kele ti foi na fanche muma an be ka ke mo kele an be ka do da kele ka bo da kele.
Family, this is all I have to say. I don't think Ahmad Cisse is rehabilitated. He looks good. He's talking to his brother now. You see, the fact that Ahmad Cisse did not repent for his own goodwill, first of all, we have to establish that this is one individual who have decided to take a lot of lives. Regardless of what you are going to say, Ahmad Cisse got money. He got money. He got his own cut of the bread in the bush when they were killing civilians in Mali. He killed people all over the place. Ahmad Cisse used to once upon a time look at himself like, a bloodthirsty demon that possibly will get 72 virgins according to his eschatological belief. But Ahmad Cisse surrendered on the line of contact. He didn't even surrender. He got knocked out. And if you look at his face at the time, it looked like someone that was under some influence. So everything is clear now. Ahmad Cisse is behind bars. And now he's speaking like a decent person. What do I think? I think Ahmad Cisse should face the full wrath of the law. if law still exists on that side. I think for all the lives Amasese has taken, it is only reasonable to not reintegrate somebody like this back to the community. What is Amasese going to do? Where is it going to start from? You see, this is the problem with allowing the West to infiltrate you. I have to say categorically, what do you want to... It's a cattle rearer, right? Where are his cattle? That's a big question. He will never ever go back to that. Amasese is in love with the printed CFA franc from France. He's in love with the weapons. He's in love with the talk of Mujahideen. You can see that he was talking about jihad right now. And I continue to hear a lot of Islamists say that their own jihad is different from these people's jihad. My question is the Quran different? Is the Quran that they read, is it different from the Quran you are reading? I can play a lot of materials here that categorically talk about what this is all about. And honestly, I won't lie to you. I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Muslim. I'm agnostic. I don't believe in all those things. All right. I don't believe it's to me it's distraction. People are not moving forward. You have a lot of people saying they have read the Quran, they've read the Bible, they've done this, but what have they created? What have they done? What innovations have those people done? Have they taken people to the space? What have they done productively to improve the life of their community other than talking about Islamic Sharia? I have them around me. I know the mindset of those people, and I'm speaking to the mind of those that can still listen. I don't want anybody's support. When it comes to what I'm talking about now, we need to clean the mind of people. We need it, because for as many others that are still going to continue in that path, they are still going to take the lives of children, women, elderly ones, and youths that could have, who knows, changed the life of the country, changed the destiny of the country forever. Who knows how many Mansa Musas have been terminated with this foolish ideology. This is the truth. This is the reality. So that is that for him. The BIR-30 of Burkina Faso had a skirmish with the JNIM in Mene. It was a brutal skirmish, ladies and gentlemen. According to the information, one BIR-30 personnel sustained wound in this skirmish. Ladies and gentlemen, over 30 enemy fighters were neutralized, and the rest, they fled with various degrees of bullet wounds. This was one dangerous maneuver right here from the Rapid Intervention Brigade, the 30th Battalion. Now you see, the thing about this unit is, this is the youngest unit in Burkina Faso for the Special Forces Mechanized Infantry Battalion of Burkina Faso. This is the latest. BIR-30 is the last. And ladies and gentlemen, what a phenomenal performance. To neutralize 30 enemies that are hailing bullets in your direction, and to have one personnel sustaining, wounds. That coupled with the fact that Burkina Faso is being trained indigenously by Burkinabe instructors, Burkina Faso is ripe. You can take it to the bank. Burkina Faso is seasoned already. Burkina Faso is ready. Ladies and gentlemen, say no more about Burkina Faso. When it comes to regional security and protecting lives and property of Burkinabes, I can tell you the Western coalition are trying, because of what they used to benefit unchallenged with so much impunity from this region. But I can guarantee you, Burkina Faso is a seasoned people. And much love and respect to the people of Burkina Faso and the armed forces of Burkina Faso for putting in a phenomenal performance for freedom right there. Ladies and gentlemen, you see, another thing that we have is the leader of the Tuareg people and their CNT council. They are not talking about dialogue, they're talking about peace. They're talking about bringing the leaders of different ethnic group and regions in Mali. They want dialogue, they want a peace resolution, and that type of talk in Mali. This talk is being spearheaded by Musa Ag Achara Tuamain. Ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to what he has to say.
My name is Musa Gacharotman. I am a member of the National Transitional Council, a member of the Defense and Security Commission of the CNT. I am also the Secretary General of the MSA, and I am the coordinator of the Idaksak community. So the objective of the Tamezok Association, which is an association that brings together practically all the major leaders from northern Mali, whether they are dignitaries or religious leaders, traditional chiefs, leading intellectuals, military personnel, economic operators, and so on. Basically, it is an association that brings together what we might call all the major figures from these regions. And this association was established by mutual agreement with the Malian government. And its main objective is truly to support the recommendations here of the inter-Malian dialogue that was recently organized by the Malian government. The main objective, of course, is to work within the broader framework of peace, social cohesion, security, and the return of displaced persons and refugees. This association, thanks to the dynamism of its president, who is on my right, whom I would like to congratulate and encourage, is an association that is expanding its presence throughout the national territory. That is why Tamusok, in the coming weeks and months, will truly try to contribute as much as possible within the framework of restoring peace and security, and of course for the common good. Agreements with the Minister of National Reconciliation, who is the Minister of State, and with whom we have more interactions, are in place to really try to accomplish this very important mission. And it is also essential and important to make people understand, not only at the national level but also internationally, that most Tuaregs, who are often labeled as being affiliated with separatist groups, extremist groups, or traffickers of all kinds, are citizens just like everyone else. We have experienced this terrorism crisis and other crises just like most of the Malian population. Today, you can see that practically the entire Sahel is in turmoil. The Tuaregs, just like other communities in Mali today, whether they are Puls, Songhai, Bambara, Senufo, Arabs, or Jampas, are committed, just like all citizens, to serving in the Malian army and in the institutions of the Republic, and in everything that is truly being done to bring peace and security to this country. It is also extremely important to say this not only to our people but also to all those who desire peace and security. For this region, they must continue to raise awareness and help most people understand. For these people, we have no future outside of our country, because it is Mali, it is the state that is able to provide schooling, that is able to provide healthcare, that is able to educate, that is able to deliver basic social services. The future of our communities, the future of our people lies within our country. For various and multiple reasons, our people have been manipulated by actors, I would say acting in bad faith, who try to make them believe or indoctrinate them. A large part of our youth, leading them down paths that have no future and no prospects. And that is why it is extremely important that we, who are political, military, social, traditional, or religious leaders, we must speak out precisely to spread this positive message, so that our children, so that future generations, so that our people understand that we have no future outside of our own country. Terrorism, drug trafficking, or organized crime, there is no future in that. There is no future in that. There is no organization today, neither in the Sahel nor in Mali, that is capable of offering what a state can offer in terms of protection, in terms of fulfilling basic and fundamental rights. And for that, we have this historic responsibility towards our people and also towards our country. Because this country, after all, makes a lot of efforts. It does a lot for most of us. Today, if we can sit in front of cameras to speak and spread the good word, which is heard in many places, not only at the regional level, but also internationally, it is because this country has allowed us to have this basic and fundamental right, which is education, which has allowed us today to acquire knowledge that enables us to explain the challenges our people and our country are facing. So I would like to share this message, not just for Malians, not just for our communities, locally, but even at the international level. And those who truly want peace, those who truly want reconciliation, must make everyone who comes to talk with them understand that their future cannot be envisioned outside of these states, outside of Mali, outside of Niger. And that is why it is extremely important that Tamezok, as part of its mission of reconciliation, the promotion of peace and the return of all these people who today number in the thousands in Mauritania, in Algeria, in camps for displaced persons or refugees without any guaranteed future, acts. It is an entire generation of children today who are thrown into the rice fields, into the bush and so on, who have no future. And this, anyone who cares about the future of their community, of their people, must take note of. And this is one of the main objectives that our association Tamzoka is truly working on. And these are also objectives that we share with our highest authorities who are supporting us as much as we could hope for. What we tell our youth, what we tell our people is that we have no future with this kind of practices, this kind of organization. Our future is within Mali, our future is with our authorities.
What I believe is that regardless of the talk, Mali must continue their military operation. The talk should go on. The people that want peace can, and this should be the end of rehabilitation talk, of reintegration, of disarming. The only way you disarm people this time around, based on the number of civilians that have been harmed in Mali and what happened to the defense minister, I think the only way you disarm people in Mali that have chosen to neutralize innocent Malians is to send them to their 72 Virgin. There is no acceptable way at this point in time. You have to show that when a lightweight gets in the ring with a super heavyweight, the only way for you is to get blood out. So this is what I believe that these people deserve. Not dialogue, not peace talk. Like when you look at the issue of ECOWAS is a lost cause. Some countries are even a dangerous entity to the entire region. Look at Nigeria. This is somebody in Nigeria, a politician, a former special advisor to the state government that is now contesting for the House of Assembly in Nigeria, Katsina State, that is bordering Niger, and this man happens to be a bandit.
So this man here, his name now, Nura Aliyu Gawa. He was a former SSA on community development to the Katsina State governor. This man here, this Nura, is a former SSA on community development to the Katsina State governor. But recently, he resigned. He resigned recently to contest for a seat in the House of Assembly. So, on the 13th of May, 2026, in the evening, around 6 to 6:30 p.m. in the evening, terrorists, aka bandits, they were 8 in number, I'll be 7, I think 7 or 8. They kidnapped one 8-year-old boy. The boy just come back from this Islamic school. They kidnapped him. This thing happened for Saduna Housing Estate for Katsina State. This place is under Batsari or Bateri local government area of Katsina State or Basari. Anyone you call them. Guys, if I not call away, I'm sorry, forgive me. So after they kidnap this boy, they can demand 50 million naira at first. The family can't bid, they bid price. They can't come down to 17 million. The family can't pay. So after they pay, they can go report this thing to this violent crime response unit for Katsina State. These people, they formed a new, so they want to walk. They really want to walk. So they can begin to follow up. They track everything. They track. Now so they can't take go. They can catch 6 first. Then this one. For in place, they find 7.5 million naira cash, which believed to be part of the ransom where those people pay. Blessing my own share be that for Ghana must go. They can still find Peugeot 307. Can still find bike where they do the kidnapping. It's not bike most of them they use. So in own bike when use they go for kidnapping, they find them there. The own bike when they carry they go for in own back share they find them there. Nigerians. So a lot of bandits sit for that House of Rep. A lot of bandits sit for that senator seat. A lot of them they for Aston Villa. Just be say that cup never full. This one cup don't full. A lot of them they there. These people are the reason why Nigeria is like this now. They are using all this money for campaigns. They are using it. Siam, he is contesting for the house, for a seat in the House of Assembly. Siam. He want to use the money for the campaign. God saying a lie. Nigerians, you know the story. If they hide them, they will bring them. This one cup don't full. That's so be a lot of them that cup go full.
Ladies and gentlemen, just the way you have them in the House of Representatives, just the way you have them in the House of Assembly, that's the way you have them in the Senate, that's the way you have them to the top. The Nigerian government is absolutely infiltrated, and this is why I don't know the type of dialogue those people are talking about when they talk about movement of people from places to places. Matter of fact, it's only in ECOWAS that you have people moving left to right without being checked. Yes, we are African people, we can move from one place to another, but we should be checked. People should not just cross border in no, it's too dangerous at this point. That was why it is that united crossing of border that everybody have been talking about. That was why over 12,000 plus terrorists penetrated Mali without being checked. That is the transit a lot of people are asking for, right? No, we are not doing that. We're not doing that. So it will be in the purview of the AES to reassess and very well look at what ECOWAS is saying. Think about the pros and cons and come out with a very, very phenomenal unanimous decision. Now in the region of AES, we have the Malian and the Russian African Corps bombarding a terrorist enclave and completely destabilizing everything in the region. Ladies and gentlemen, in that air sortie, we have 100% enemy KIA and their logistic infrastructure was devastated. So ladies and gentlemen, that was in the AES region, and in different theater of operation, the Malians continue to move on every front, and the type of capabilities that the Malians are using right now, ladies and gentlemen, when you look at the brass radios and the silence that follows every precision targeted devastation, you will discover that right now the geopolitical landscape in Mali is gradually shifting in the positive direction, and the Alliance of Sahel continue to move forward. You can see that recently the Nigerians, now they are renegotiating terms with the Chinese, to benefit Niger even more when it comes to oil exploration, and they continue to discover new oil fields. And after they discover the new oil field, you can see that there is another group, possibly sponsored by France, that is already talking about separation. This is the thing. You cannot have the West come back to this region, because it is dangerous for the lives and the destiny of the children of the people in this region. I will be honest with you. But Niger continue to move forward, and the Turkish instructors are currently in Niger on, training and retraining of the Nigerian forces. And I think currently in Niger, you have Turkish special forces on the ground. Let's see how it continues to go, and let's see the improvement on the line of contact. Burkina Faso, for me, cream of the crop, ladies and gentlemen, cream of the crop. The result on the line of contact, the result on the ground is the proof that it's already in the pudding that you need. Burkinabe forces, they go out and they show off. The sweat and the training, and they just breeze through their enemy in the real battle. Ladies and gentlemen, much respect to the Burkinabe fighters and the Burkinabe people, and thanks for the support of the people for Burkina Faso that has been unwavering, that has been relentless, and the ruthless approach of the Malians towards making sure that they de-radicalize all the enemies in their territory. Man, it has been effective so far, and long live the Malian Republic. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the information we have for today. You can kindly give us your opinion on what you think. It's your boy 7200 signing out. Enough said, but before I go, I want to take this time to thank Bad Design and Easy 9941 for your sponsorship of this video. Much respect, much love, and 72 salute to the Android community. Thank you, and God bless you.
Amita kulikoro terosiw ka dagayɔrɔ caman filen koloncira ko daga kolonci Mali golomasiri tabagaw ka wuli ka jɔ fɛ I n'a fɔ aw ɲɛ bɛ a la jala terosi caman kɔni fara ka fili ani u bolominɛw ni k'a bɛɛ lajɛlen nɔɔni.